this is not my life. I am plus size. I have all the fun. I go on all the trips. I date all the people I might possibly date. I have never once had a problem getting some if I wanted some.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Shapely TV. Hi. We have a special guest that we'll introduce in a moment. I am Iya, and you can find me across all platforms at Shapely Events.
I'm Sharon, and you can find me on IG at Giggly Coco.
And I am Skyy, and you can find me practically on everything as Simply Skyy, but with 2 Y's, so Simply SKYY.
Super excited about this episode, but before we get to it, we're going to announce the drinking word of the episode, which is curves. So if you're 21 and over, and only 21 and over, every time you hear the word curves, take a shot. Okay. October is our fatty friendly episode, and we're celebrating all things plus size friendly. And who would think that would extend to your television, right? So we have Skyy here, who is the writer and creator of Curves. Right, Skyy?
Yes. Writer, creator, and supervising producer.
Get them credits in, child. Get the credits in. So let's deep dive, because I'm so excited about it. You take a couple of seconds and tell people where they can find it.
Okay, so Curves currently at this present moment is just a pilot. So a lot of people are watching it and they're like, where's the rest of it? Currently, it's just a pilot. It has not been picked up yet by the network or by anyone else. So we don't know if there will be more episodes, but that's the hope, is that, someone will see it and then decide they want to go ahead and pick it up and show it, forever. Or at least give me a couple seasons. Give me like 2 or 3 seasons and I'll be happy. But as far as where you can find it, currently it is on the BET Hers YouTube page. So not regular BET, but BET Her. And their YouTube page, if you search for Curves BET, it should pop right up.
Okay. So one thing is, what was the inspiration behind this pilot? Are we going to refer to it as a pilot or the show? I don't know.
Because we're gonna call it a show, because we want to speak that into existence, that it will become a show.
Positive affirmations. Here for it, right?
That's right.
So what was the inspiration behind the show Curves?
So the inspiration was essentially just my personal life. Actually when I met y'all I met you, I think you were at the Bash too in Dallas. Yeah.
Both of us. You met both of us.
Yeah, both of y'all. So when I started going to those events, and then also just my own personal life, I was like, I don't see anything like that around. And so I wanted to bring out something that would have women like myself in it, because actually, just to be totally honest, I was watching the episode of This Is Us. And it was one of the episodes where Kate was kind of like upset about being fat. And, at this time she had Toby and he loves her, but she can't really love herself because she's fat. And I'm like, and it was annoying the hell out of me. The whole, I love that show so much. And I even love her character. However, I love the person who plays her, but her character just gets under my skin, because I'm like, this is not my life. I am plus size. I have all the fun. I go on all the trips. I date all the people I might possibly date. I have never once had a problem getting some if I wanted some. So I don't see that Skyy, and so it was kind of crazy to me that I started thinking about, okay, well, what shows do we have that actually show plus size women in the way that I know it to be? And it's not very many. It's like either you're fat and depressed, or you're the comic relief, the Fat Amy's or the Melissa McCarthy's. You're there for the comic relief. And I was like, okay, so are we not able to be a sex symbol? And then after that happened, Empire had a scene with Gabourey Sidibe, who I adore. I love that woman so much. And she like had her first scene, like love scene. I guess it was maybe 3 seconds long. They showed her thigh and like this rapper trying to get it on with her. And I was like, yes, get it, get it, get it. And then I go on Twitter and nothing like, that wouldn't really happen. Ain't no rapper gonna fuck that fat girl. And I was pissed. So I went off. Like I was like, this is some bullshit. I'm like being a total Twitter finger, like fuck all y'all haters. Like, oh, I'm sorry.
You are off.
So I'm going off, and my mentor actually was part of that, like as far as directing with Empire. So I called him and was like, this is some bullshit. She wasn't even on screen but like a minute. And then he's like, actually it was more like 30 seconds. And I was like, even worse, this is some trash. And so all of that kind of fueled it for me. And then finally I was like, you know what, I'm gonna write a fat girl Sex in the City. And I went to my mentor's house and I was like, he was like, so what are you working on? And I was like, I'm working on this fat girl Sex in the City. And he was like, that is the best idea you have ever told me. Write it and get it to me because I need to read it. And so we started working on it, but then he got some projects, like he's directed some pretty big movies. Y'all might know Dolomite Is My Name, the new Coming to America. So he had to go do his thing, but I still wanted to get it done. So I ended up writing it. And during this point, I'm on my year of yes. So I read the Shonda Rhimes book and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a year of yes. And there was a contest for ABFF, which is the American Black Film Festival. And I was like, okay, should I enter? Should I not? You know, I was kind of on the fence about entering. And then I was like, you know what, year of yes, I'm gonna go ahead and enter this contest. And it was a contest, or it was a competition for Issa Rae's company, Color Creative, and BET, where the would get $25,000 and then also get to produce that will possibly produce the show. And it came down to, you know, going down, I think it was like maybe 2,000 people in the contest. And I end up being one of 3 actually technically 4 finalists, but 2 of them are a writing partnership. And we got a free trip to ABFF. We got to meet Issa and a bunch of other amazing producers. I don't know if you've seen that new show that just came on last night, actually, Our Own People. Got to meet Karen Gitz, who is like the showrunner of that show. And after that, they put us in what they call like a training camp, where they treated us just like they would treat a person selling a pilot, like giving us notes, making us do rewrites. And by the end of it, I was the one who won, and we ended up producing the show.
Congrats for that. Congrats to that. You know,
that was so long-winded. But
we're big on, super big on representation here. And I would just like to stop because a lot of times I understand why, right? I've always defended certain aspects to the Bash scene, right?
Right.
And that is one of them. You know what I'm saying? There's so much positive that comes out of things. We're big proponents of you get what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to take a second to highlight that, and you know, inspiration, us meeting you, you know what I'm thinking? That's the reason. So, you know, as much as people say it has its negatives and stuff like that, it's like, what role are you playing, or what are you deciding to extract from whatever situation you find yourself in? And in this case, it was a Bash. So kudos to you on that.
Yeah, and just to be honest,
was it tough?
Well, I want to give you just real quick, because at that Bash, I was in a really low place. Like, I was not happy. I got there thinking, okay, this was going to be a great event for me. I've talked to you already about my issues with said events, but in that moment, like, I just was really down. And then I was sitting in remember I was in the fitness thing, and I like started crying like a crazy person, because I'm like, I don't have any help. And it was just like, I just like broke down in front of everybody. And then I was like, I'm not going back out there. And you were like, no, you're not. You're coming to the pool with us. And I was like, okay. And so I ended up like hanging out, because I was not trying to be there anymore. And I was only there for like a night. And I was just like, I don't want to be here. I drove from Memphis. I'm finna go home. Like, I don't want to be here. But then I met you, and I was like, okay, y'all brought me in. It was like, okay, hang out with us. And I was like, oh, okay. This is, you know, a lot better than I thought it was. At first, I was so ready to go.
So a lot of people I don't know if they know or not, but you know, most of my adult career, I've worked in social services. So for me, I don't want to say distress, but seeing someone just not as, I don't want to say as they should be, but as they could be, you know what I'm saying? For me, I just have this innate thing to say, hey, I'm Iya, you know what I'm saying? Because I know what it's like, you know, to feel some type of way, to feel like you want to join in on the fun and not really. So for me, that comes second nature. And, you know, as I did for you, there were people who did for me. So that was me like paying it forward and saying, hey, it's okay. You have allies here, you have friends here, you just haven't met us yet. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, so yeah, I think I had cut you off in the middle of a question.
Oh, but thanks. You know, I'll take my flowers while I'm here. You know,
You like really, I mean, no lie, like that was really helpful because I was really just gonna stay in my room the rest of the night and not come back down because I was like, I'm not happy here. Like I didn't like the situation, and it wasn't against the bash because again, this was my second one. Well, this is my first official one attending, and I came by myself. So all my friends that were supposed to go with me like canceled at the last minute. So I was like, I'm still gonna go. And I got there and I was just like, okay, I'm going to my room. Like that's kind of my attitude. And yeah, you like brought me and I was like, all right, cool. Like this is great.
kudos to you on that, because there's some people. I've been on a cruise and people just haven't left for the whole 7 days, and I'm like, yeah, but I totally understand. So yeah, was it? No, it wasn't hard to get back in because you won the contest. But did the contest cover what it took to develop, make all that stuff, or did you find yourself needing more funding or having to search for more funding?
Well, before the contest, I didn't have an agent. So in Hollywood, trying to sell a script or something of that sort without having an agent is insanely like hard to do. It's very difficult. So the contest like totally helped everything for me. And then I'm in Memphis, so I'm not in LA where I'm supposed to be to like get in writers' rooms and the sell stuff. So it was even more difficult for me to really get it out there. Even though I have some connects, it wasn't enough. But so the contest definitely did help me. And I would recommend to anybody trying to write or be in film and TV, like look into these contests at these different festivals. For Black or people of color, like going to ABFF is probably one of the best, if not the best, for us to go to. And they have a lot of talent pipelines for writing, for acting, for comedy. I think they have one for like if you want to be a broadcaster or something, like a reporter. So it's a great way to meet people, to network, and in my case, kind of changed my life in a lot of ways.
Okay.
But as far as I need anything else? No, BET produced it, so they backed it. Now they did give me a small budget because again, I'm an unknown, brand new, first thing I've ever written for Hollywood, period. But they did cover it.
Okay. Oh, nice.
How has it been received? I follow a couple of the people on Instagram that are, you know, starring in the show, and you know, from what I read and see, and even, you know, in our own personal circle, a lot of people are very proud on like from my end. But from your perspective, how has it been received?
Crazy. Like the first week we had over 100,000 views, and I was like,
wow,
like what is happening? And it's been really, really good. The comments, even though we have a lot of views, or what I consider to be a lot of views, the comments have been really what's getting me, like just got me over the moon. Because you know how YouTube can be just like anything else. It's a lot of trolls, and usually it's a lot of people just being negative. But yeah, I've only seen maybe 2 comments that were negative, and one was like, well, why is it named Curves? And I'm like, I mean, I don't know how to answer that.
if they asked that question, the show was the least of their problems.
Right. And then of course we had like one that was like, you know, these girls aren't dark curvy, they're just fat. And I was like, okay, whatever. But outside of that, over 500 comments have been like, where's the rest? We love this. I'm so happy to see people like myself. This is fantastic. So I love that. Of anything, even if the show doesn't get picked up, I'm like, I'm happy because people got to see what I tried to do, and it just means that I'll just keep going and write another one, you know,
That
change.
was my next question. As a person of size, how important was it for you to see this come to fruition?
It was incredibly important because of the fact, like I told you, I was tired of seeing us only as two things: sad and depressed, comic relief. I was like, where is the rest? So I
And
wanted
then
to.
sometimes there's only like one, like there could be more than one plus size person in a scene.
One friend. It's usually like the quirky friend to the side that might do some crazy stuff, or and in the think of like the ensembles, like again, we have Fat Amy, and I was like, okay, you know, like we can do better than this. Melissa McCarthy, I love to death, but again, her roles are pretty much comedic. And in Bridesmaid, she played. I mean, one thing I will say about her is it's never really about her weight. She just plays the role, which I do like. I'm happy that there's like First Wives Club out now that actually has two. It has Jill Scott and it has Michelle. I cannot remember her last name, but they're two of the stars, and then the other star is a smaller person. But I'm like, okay, so we're headed in the right direction. But I wanted to kind of be one of the first to really put it out there. And I'm not the first by any means. There's lots of YouTubers that have made incredible content, but I was like, we don't have that on network. And that's what I'm hoping to see, is to see a show where women can be sexy, fierce, independent, and then also be plus size. Like, why not? And I mean, most of us are. So let's get it out there.
Or a talk show where plus size people come on and talk about plus size issues, you know, like Shapely TV.
Right. Exactly.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
You know, hey, you're absolutely right. It's because it's needed, just because it's a lot of people who have never, and I saw comments where people were like, I've never seen women like myself like this. And I'm like, that's sad. It's a sad reality, but it's, you know, reality as of right now. But hopefully it'll change soon.
October houses National Plus Size Appreciation Day. I believe it's the 6th. Does that day mean anything to you? If so, what is, I know for, you know, since I've been running Shapely, like, you know, I make it a point for that day, but does it mean anything to you? If so, what? Or if not, what can it be?
Well, I didn't know it existed, but now that I do know, I'm going to just make it like a little holiday for myself, where I might break my diet and actually eat a cupcake or something. I think that's dope. Like, I love the progress that's being made, like with, you know, Old Navy doing what they're doing with their clothing. You know, I would like to see more, you know, clothing, especially like plus size models and influencers who make these clothing lines. I want to see them do the same thing and stop stopping at a 2X or 3X going up. But I think it is important that we start to like really celebrate us, because so many people for so many years have said we can't. And so I'm like, you know, let's do it. Let's celebrate who we are.
Right. My annoyance is body type. And, you know, Sharon and I, we speak about this all the time. I think that it's not good enough to just feature or show plus size people or what society deems to be the acceptable plus size, right? I feel like there are so many different body types that get left out. If you're not like the hourglass or the pear bottom, you're not fully represented. I don't know if you guys agree, but in addition to being more size inclusive, I think we need to be more body type inclusive as well.
No, I 100% agree, because like with the body positivity movement right now, it's all, you know, I might look on TikTok and I'm seeing all these people talking about how they're so plus size and I'm thick and I'm the big girl and I'm this, and I'm like, but are you? Like, are you really? So it's kind of, I call it, and this is something my friends used to get on me about, because I'd be like, no, you're Drake's version of a BBW. Like when he says I like my girl BBW, you're Drake's version.
You're that BBW, yes.
I'm not that. And so and it's hard because I would get people, you know, my highest weight was a 32 or 34, like at a time. So my friends would be like, well, this plus size boutique just opened up, you should go there. And I'm like, I can't wear anything there.
Yeah.
Like, no, but it's plus size, I can't wear anything there.
Right.
Or we're trying to go out and I can't buy anything in store because even a Torrid, which might be in my neighborhood, it's only going to sell up to a possible 26.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
26, 28.
In store, but then online they'll do a 30, or Ashley Stewart kind of was the same way. It's like, oh yeah, we'll sell. I think Ashley Stewart goes to a 36, but in store it's only like a 26. And
Right.
I will never forget Lane Bryant. I was on Twitter and I was like, Lane Bryant, because at this point, Torrid was a 30. Ashley Stewart was a 36. And I was like, Lane Bryant, y'all need to get your shit together because y'all the only ones still stopping at a 28. And their response was like, we have no intentions of raising our size. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and don't need this card anymore. Won't be using it. And
Lane Bryant actually makes now like a 10-12, if you noticed online.
They do a 10-12, but they actually now have finally raised to, I think, a 36 or a 38. So they actually get online. But again, the problem is all these stores, even Old Navy has had this online. They've had plus size online for years, but in store, you're not getting it. So I am glad to see the progress, but it's definitely a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yeah. So you actually would have been great for our live that we did last week, right, Sharon?
Yeah.
Because again, we were speaking from our perspective, and we understood that in also being plus size, we were privileged in that we can be on the higher end of the regular sizes or on the lower end of the plus sizes. But it's great to hear your perspective, and great as in like, I'm not happy you're going through that, but I'm glad to hear your perspective on someone who has a level of frustration with not being able to shop in store or whatever.
Well, now I don't have the issue. I've gotten down to a 22, almost to a 20, which is great because I can do things now, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop fighting for the people who were like me just last year, So I'm always going to like try to say, hey, we need to see better, because I know how it feels. Like even right now, because of the way that I am losing weight, my weight right now is in my arms and it's in my stomach. So whereas my waist might be a 40 or 38, or I'm almost at a 38, my waist is small as hell. I can't wear any shirts because all the I have to wear shirts that are like stretchy because they're not gonna fit my arms, or I gotta find some wrap and try to wrap them up so they can put on.
I mean, I have that same issue, but I've never tried to wrap them. Let me find out. I got a wrap hat. So.
It's too much. But so I was like, there's got to be. I know that they can't do everything, but there's a give here. If this outfit is a size 28, why is the sleeve the size of a 14? Like, I'm not understanding. So, but that's why I'm all off subject. I'm just ranting. Let's go.
Wait, listen, it's okay. And again, this is our fatty friendly issue, so it's not limited to just the topic of, we're discussing all this stuff, and there's other articles in this issue that is going to touch on that as well. So it's fairly relevant. Do you have anything coming up? Is there anything that people should look out for?
Not at the moment. I'm writing a new book because I started off writing books first. So I do have two short stories in the Full Figured Divas, which is an anthology that's sponsored by Carl Weber, who's a New York Times bestselling author. So I'm in two of those. So the Full Figured Divas books are great to read if you're plus size and you want to just read some stories about other plus size people. And it's usually drama filled and lots of good stuff, some good sex and good drama. So it's a good fun time. But currently I'm just working on my portfolio. I'm working on trying to get, curves picked up. I wrote a new show I can't really talk about at the moment, but it's still going to be plus size friendly. And I'm just, trying to work on my career. So nothing really big to discuss outside of, just me trying to get my portfolio up.
But you cooking, you in there cooking.
All the time. All the time.
So our next segment is events that we're looking forward to. And Shapely, we started our, Shapely Social, which is basically providing people with, you know, activities and stuff we would love to do but hate doing by ourselves. It could be something as simple as bowling, shooting pool, apple picking, to something as grand as our big brunch. So November 14th in New York City, we're having a brunch. It's going to be an afternoon of plus size fashion, fun, food, drinks, and it's designed to just really let your hair down with people that you feel comfortable with, people that look like you, and just, you know, have a good time. I've always felt that certain looks, experiences, or activities were afforded to a certain type of people. You know, that we have had people in our audience, including myself, who has not been able to get into a club or get into an event because, you know, that whole we have the right to refuse thing. So we wanted to basically provide, you know, luxe experience to people of size and people who like rocking with us. So on November 14th from 2 to 6, we will have our big brunch. Tickets are on sale now. By the time this airs, no, actually, it will be the day before, we will have our twerk shop. So if you ever wanted to learn how to twerk, now's the time.
Or Tennessee, you know, we got Nashville, we got Tennessee, like Memphis. Why I don't ever have no events there? I can't get on a plane every month and be like trying to come to New York all the time.
Okay, so the twerk shop is virtual.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so we'll put the link and we'll send you there. The big brunch is in person. However, you ain't been to New York City this year, so now's the time to come.
Last time I went to New York was for, I'm a nerd, so the last time I was there was for New York Comic Con a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, come for Shapely Brunch.
You're gonna have an awesome time.
Yes.
Into that.
Yes. And that's about it. That's all we have, you guys. Thanks for watching. Again, I'm Iya across all platforms at Shapely Events.
I'm Sharon on IG Giggly Coco.
And I'm Skyy and I'm single. No, I'm joking. No, no kidding. I'm not joking, but it's not.
Me too.
We are all single.
Yes, you know, we had just putting that out there. No.
That took me out. That one took me out.
I'm Skyy, and I am at Simply Skyy, so SIMPLY SKYY, so Sky like the vodka. And I'm on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok recently, just started playing around with it. And of course, Facebook. So that's where you can find me. And
we'll drop the links and stuff to her books because your books are still available, correct?
If you can go to simplyskyy.com and it'll show you all the books and it'll take you to the Amazon page to purchase them.
Get your read on. But thank you guys. Enjoy your
Thank you.
Fatty Friendly October.